Hey guys, so Kumaru Usman versus Dricus Du Plessis is looking like the fight that's going to be happening next, and this does not put us in a weird spot. Some people, they think, oh, but Usman was supposed to fight a pretty high-ranked guy now, and then he was supposed to get the title shot at welterweight. Who's Morales going to fight? Who's Pratis going to fight? You can see where I'm going there. Ian Gary, he should be fighting Islam Makhachev. But a lot of stuff actually happened. This past week we've got Morales teasing fight news for Philadelphia. We already know Ian Gary and Islam Makhachev. They are the supposed headliners for UFC 330 in Philadelphia. Therefore, that would make me think that Morales, who else would he fight? He's not going to fight JDM. JDM just had a horrible outing, and frankly, I don't think he wants to fight. Then when we look down the list, Michael Morales, he beat Sean Brady. Bilal Muhammad has a fight booked. The only fight that makes sense, since he said Philly, is either the Ian versus Islam fight fell through, which I don't think it would, or Carlos Prates versus Michael Morales, the fight that everyone wants to see just because of how dangerous both fighters have looked. Uh, yeah, I'm hyped about that. The welterweight division seems set to me. Now, as for middleweight, DDP fighting Usman would mean that Sean Strickland's next defense is versus Nasruddin Imavov, as I believe they wouldn't do Imavov this dirty now and not give him the title shot. Imavov is talking a lot of shit, frankly, towards Sean Strickland. Personally, I believe when you're going back and forth with your opponent on the mic, that's between you guys. That's between you guys. Once you guys both apologize to each other and both are forgiving to each other, then leave it in the past. Just leave it in the past. Like, yeah, well, we don't need to hear more backlash from that. Imavov is saying, I'm going to kill Sean Strickland. Yeah, that didn't go so well for you when you went into a 5-rounder versus Sean Strickland, who was on, 2 weeks' notice. Yeah, I believe that's a pretty easy fight for Sean Strickland. No matter how much you think Nasruddin has improved, Sean Strickland is also better when he's not on 11 days' notice, 12 days' notice, whatever it is. I believe Sean Strickland is going to have a pretty fun first title defense there. And the real challenge is going to come between Usman and Du Plessis when they come and fight Sean Strickland. But as for Hamza Chimaev, I know you're probably thinking of that guy right now, and my take is he will not be fighting Sean Strickland. He won't. He will not fight at middleweight anymore. I don't think Dana wants it. I don't think anyone really wants it. I think we need to see Hamzat go up to light heavyweight, have his fun there. I think he can pretty much easily get the title there. I understand people are judging Hamzat Chimaev off of his last fight a lot because of his horrible entries at times and how he lost to Sean Strickland, whatever. Sean Strickland put on a very good performance. Hamzat Chimaev had a horrible weight cut. We saw what great Hamzat Chimaev looked like versus Dricus Du Plessis, and he was practically unstoppable. Perfect entries, and that's what he's known for, perfect entries. People are failing to realize that he had a very bad weight cut. That affects you significantly, especially if you have never fought in your life. You don't understand what these fighters go through during the weight cut. Now, personally, I've never competed, but I've seen people in my gym. I've seen people, just what they go through that weight cut. It's different. It's different. You cannot be just judging there because you have no experience, frankly. You really don't. And you got to give it all to these fighters. He still went and fought. He lost, yes. There was no way that you could call that a robbery for Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland clearly won. But I think people are really undermining how good Hamzat Chimaev is. And you're disrespecting the win of Sean Strickland by saying Hamzat is not good. But this was not the best Hamzat. And Hamzat at light heavyweight beats, I think, everyone. I really do. I don't see a real challenge here. People are talking about Paulo Costa being a super huge challenge for Hamzat. Now, don't know if we get another bad weight cut situation for Hamzat. Yeah, possibly. I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but I'm just saying you got to blame a bit of stuff on the weight cut as well. And that's his fault for taking the fight. He should not have took the fight if he was supposed to fight at light heavyweight. You should have just relinquished your belt, went to light heavyweight. That's on him. That's on him. His loss is fully his fault, and Sean Strickland's fault for being that good that night. But yeah, I think this whole title situation is pretty much settled. I think Carlos Ulberg is, well, he can't defend his belt to Hamzat because, well, Hamzat can't just jump a division and fight for the title right away. I think we're gonna see Carlos Ulberg versus. Well, Hamzat Chimaev actually has time right now because right now they're talking about Khalil Roundtree versus Magomed Ankalaev, which is number 5 versus number 1. With Ulberg being out for possibly 6 to 8 months, maybe we could see Hamzat face one of them and then face Ulberg for the title as his first title defense. I'm not sure, but that's what I think is gonna happen. Guys, other than that, Usman versus Dricus Du Plessis. Let's talk about that fight. Let's see how it goes. I think Dricus Du Plessis, he's very random. He's a very strong guy. That we know. He's a very strong guy, and that could be proven difficult for Usman. Usman has far superior wrestling to Dricus, but at the same time, he is at a weight class higher, and he did very well versus Hamzat. But you got to remember, these are two different stylistic matchups. You don't always know how the fight's going to go. You don't. MMA is the best because it's unpredictable a lot of the time. You see people thrive with their MMA betting careers, but I'm just saying the sport is as unpredictable as it gets. Sean Strickland, no one had him. No one truly had him. Like, even the people that bet on him, they bet on him by chance. And that's what you got to realize. Everything is by chance here. And Dricus Du Plessis could be a pretty bad stylistic matchup for Kumaru Usman. But he could also get practically dominated by Kumaru Usman. Dricus Du Plessis, the thing is, he comes and blitzes a lot. He does, and that leaves your legs open for those takedowns. And Kumaru Usman has been great over the course of his career during that. People talk about him having no knees. Yeah, he does, but like at the same time, this is kind of a good fight for him. Dricus, yes, he likes to jab you, but he kind of stays on the outside a bit. And we saw in that Joaquin Buckley fight, Kumaru was coming in with that forward pressure, and he was relentless with that. Dricus Du Plessis often gives his opponent the front foot. And I think Kumaru Usman, if he's constantly pressuring and just taking him down to the ground, with it being near the cage and all, I think we see a good old-fashioned Usman win. It's pretty arguable. Then again, Dricus Du Plessis by spinning tornado kick, randomness. Dricus Du Plessis is very good at proving everyone wrong a lot of the time. Didn't go well in his last fight, but other than that, you can't forget how good the guy is. And his cardio is significantly better than when he started his UFC career. And we saw Usman fade kind of in the 5th round versus Joaquin Buckley, which could pay dividends versus a guy like Dricus Du Plessis. And if Dricus Du Plessis catches you fading in the 5th, he's going to do all he can to finish you. You saw in that Hamzat fight in the 5th round, Hamzat wasn't fading, but Dricus started to catch a bit of momentum in that 5th at a point, and he had him in a guillotine. Don't get me wrong, was not locked up at all, but he was landing some pretty decent strikes at a point. If he does that versus Usman, Usman is the much smaller guy. We don't know what can happen. That's why I love this fight, and I think it's a very hard fight to predict. And yeah, I don't have a pick yet for this fight, but wow, I'm gonna go break this down some more after this video probably. Yeah, guys, I want you to comment down below. What do you think of this whole situation? Is there any matchups that I kind of made myself telling you guys that you really don't want to see? Or is there, like, do you want to see Ian Garry versus Hamzat Chimaev? That's set by the UFC right now. That's what they're saying that's going to be happening. Or do you want to see Michael Morales actually fight Islam Makhachev more? Comment down below. What do you think of all this? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I need to close it.